It's been almost 2 years since I played a Pokemon game, which is weird because it was one of my favorite games growing up. Why? Well, the last time I played Pokemon, it didn't go well. If you didn't watch the video, I basically had to cheat to beat a game of Pokemon, which is kind of embarrassing for a guy in his 20s to do. So I vowed I was never going to play a Pokemon game again unless I magically got better or they actually made a new Pokemon game that was good. Neither of those things happened. But what did happen is I got a message. A lot of messages. You see, every day since I stopped playing Pokemon, I got a message from this guy named Parker. Day one of asking for some Nuzlocke content. And if you don't know what Nuzlocke is, basically just a harder way to play Pokemon. The same harder way that I had to cheat the last time I tried it. So I ignored these DMs for the first week, and the first month, and the first year. But Parker didn't give up. The messages kept coming. So at the same time, day 500 was quickly approaching, I also discovered a new way to play Pokemon. You see, the thing I didn't enjoy about a Nuzlocke is that it was very stressful and also very boring. A lot of it was just grinding levels or using rare candies to expedite that process. But you see, my friends Poinker and Smallant found this new way to play Pokemon called an Ironman. I didn't really know much about it. All I knew is that it took them months, if not years, to beat, and thousands of resets. Now, if I have one motto in life, it's that I'd rather be lucky than good. So I figured if I'm not good at Pokemon, I'll just be lucky and win a Pokemon game. And so after 500 days of asking me to do some Pokemon content, I finally replied. And that was the start of Pokemon Week. I'm no stranger to marathon streams. I did it for League of Legends when I played for 100 hours straight. I did it for Elden Ring when I stayed live until I beat the game. But in this scenario, I was basically going to stay live until I beat my first ever Ironman. If you don't know what an Ironman is, I'll go through the rules as it becomes applicable, but the basic premise is you get one random Pokemon with totally random moves and totally random stats, and you go up against trainers with totally random Pokemon and totally random stats. Oh, that are also 50% stronger than normal, so the Elite Four has a bunch of level 90s, and that one Pokemon has to beat all 8 gyms, all the Elite Four members, and finally the Pokemon champion himself. And if that sounds difficult, I still haven't told you the hardest part of all, Professor Oak's lab. You see, the idea of an Ironman was created by a streamer called I Ate Your Pie. He was sick of Nuzlocke runs because they were pretty much solved and really boring to watch as a viewer. So he wanted something fun to watch. And what's more fun to watch than gambling? How do you gamble in Pokemon? By turning every single run into a 1 in 3 guess. You see, when Professor Oak gives you a choice of 3 Pokemon, you only get to look at one of them. And whichever Pokemon you look at, you have to keep. And then you have to immediately battle your rival, who, by the way, has a level 8 compared to your level 5 because all the trainers are stronger. And if his Pokemon happens to have better base stats than yours, or even the same base stats, you're gonna lose. And you know what happens if you lose and your Pokemon dies? You get to do it all over again. And so 80% of all Ironman runs is this: picking a random Pokemon, dying to your rival, doing it all over again. Now, the good news is if you do beat your rival and you get out of Professor Oak's lab, you have beaten the hardest part of the game. Bad news is you have now entered the next hardest part of the game, trying to beat the first gym leader. Because you see, part of the goal of an Ironman is that you can only gain experience from other trainers. And to enforce that, you're only allowed to catch one Pokemon per route and swap with your current Pokemon, aka a pivot, or kill one Pokemon per route to get a little bit of experience to hopefully help you beat the next trainer or gym leader. My first 8 hours of attempts, I was just stuck in the lab the entire time. So to make things more interesting, I decided to name every single Pokemon after a viewer. And if that Pokemon died, the viewer would get banned. And the only way I would unban them is if I eventually beat the game. And after 8 hours, I finally had some hope when I found this Slaking. Oh, wow. We catch this 100%. You see, Slaking has one of the best base stat totals in the game. And that's how you determine the potential of a Pokemon. The higher the base stat total, the better Pokemon they generally are. Now, the stat distributions still factor in, as well as their ability and moveset, but end of the day, base stat total is king, and Slaking has the highest base stat total of any Pokemon. And I mean any Pokemon. I'm including legendaries in this. Now, you might not think of Slaking as this OP Pokemon, but that's because if you ever played the game, you know his ability Truant, where every other turn, he slacks off. Just literally does nothing in exchange for being super powerful the one turn he does do something. But because the game is randomized, Slaking's ability wasn't Truant. It was actually something also kind of useless. It's the ability called Plus, which makes Plusle more powerful if he's in a double battle with Minim, but just not having Truant is so strong that it doesn't matter that that ability doesn't actually provide any benefits. And like every other Pokemon, I decided to name Slaking after a reviewer, Swizzy Mars. Now, Swizzy didn't have the best moveset, but once he hit level 7, he learned Dizzy Punch, which is massive, because now he has a stab move that also can cause confusion. And just the way the stats randomly distributed, his attack stat was his highest stat. Now, I'm not as good as Smaller Point Crow, so I'm not doing the ultimate Kaizo Ironman. I'm just doing a regular Ironman with one additional rule that I'm only allowed to use one Pokemon. Basically, it all started with Ironman, and then people solved it, so they went to Ultimate Ironman, then they solved that, then they went to Kaizo Ironman, and now they solved that, so they're doing Super Kaizo Ironman. They're just trying to find new ways to torture themselves. I'm not that good at Pokemon. I'm almost 30. I'm cool just doing a regular Ironman. I had to cheat to do a damn Nuzlocke. This is cool with me. Because of Swizzy's insane stats, I was able to cruise through the Viridian Forest, and then I went to go fight my rival, an optional battle that's in front of Victory Road, to hopefully get some more stats to help me beat the first gym leader Brock, which I had failed to do at this point so far. And even though Furret was 5 levels higher than Swizzy, his base stats were so much worse than my Slaking that I was faster and stronger, and I won without losing any health. And for the first time in 8 hours, I started to believe this run was possible. I'm not even gonna lie, I am a firm believer in this motherfucking Slaking. He is big. Swizzy doing tricks on it. The only other battle that's kind of tough is the rival battle before Misty's gym. What? But luckily for me, my rival's Pokemon weren't that good, so Swizzy won without too many problems. And after that, the game becomes a lot easier. You see, a Nuzlocke, you're kind of stressed at every second because you can't be over leveled. You have to make sure the levels are distributed amongst all your Pokemon. But in an Ironman, it's different. There's a limited amount of XP you can get, but you need every last drop because the final Pokemon champion has a level 95. And after defeating your rival, you unlock 20 trainer fights. And with all that experience, you quickly level up and become over-leveled. And then the rest of the game becomes a lot easier. I was so strong that I was easily one-shotting random trainers and even gym leaders. I was so strong, I wasn't even training off of the wild Pokemon I was allowed to kill because it wasn't even that much experience relative to my high level. Not only that, but I also picked up a scope lens, which increases your chance of getting a critical hit. And I also had a move, which increases your chance of a critical hit. So I was getting critical hits like 1/3 the time. So even Pokemon I had no business one-shotting, I was still one-shotting a lot of the time. And chat started to notice, and they weren't too happy about it. I was talking to Cutie this morning. I called her, and I was like, Pokemon's going well. And I was explaining her why Slaking was so strong. And I was like, people are going to be so mad if I beat it today. And she's like, yeah, isn't it supposed to be a week? It's like Pokemon week. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, if my Slaking gets the W, it gets the W. I don't give a fuck. I know how you guys are because you want me to struggle. I understand how rare this is. Not every run. In fact, I played 55 runs. I never ran into a Slaking one time. And if I lose this run, I'm going to go 55 more runs without seeing a Slaking again. I made it very clear that I wanted to do an Ironman in one sitting. I'm not trying to do an ultimate Kaizo Ironman that takes months to do and end up sleeping on a weirdly shaped Snorlax pillow for the next 6 months of my life, single because my girlfriend will have broken up with me because I'm spending 6 months playing Pokemon. That's not the goal here. The goal is to give myself a good challenge for Parker, who had been asking me to play Pokemon for 500 days. Now, although I'm massively overleveled, there's still some concerns. Luckily, Slaking's a normal type, which is actually a really strong typing in the 3rd gen. Normal isn't 4x weak to anything and is only 2x weak to fighting moves. And because I have such high speed, attack, and also a flying move, which is super effective against fighting types, that's not even that much of a concern either. So what are the concerns? There's 3 of them. Destiny Bond, which a Pokemon can use, and if I kill that Pokemon, it will also kill me too. Parashong, which the moment you hear it, you will die in 3 turns. So I have to either kill the person who casted it or run away from the battle if it's a wild Pokemon. If it's a trainer battle, I have no other Pokemon to switch into, so I'm SOL. And the final concern is counter. Basically, if I come super close to one-hitting a Pokemon, but I fall just short, and then they use counter, well, it does all the damage I did to them doubled. And so yeah, I am overleveled, and I am breezing through every single gym after Brock, but at any moment I could lose the run, and I was trying to convince chat that that could happen. And because chat was so incessant that I was invincible, there's no way I was going to lose. This is so boring because I'm so over-leveled, I started to get a bit careless. Oh my God. That was one of the 3 things I said could take me out. I think being left with 1 HP proves it. Doesn't matter how well your Ironman's going, it can still end at any moment. But luckily, I did defeat all 8 gyms. I made it through Victory Road, and I finally got to the Elite 4. And I'll just play the clip. Giraffe rig, we just go with strength. Crit. Thank you. Thank you. Dugong. Water, ice, best play, ancient power. That's so cringe. No! No! I didn't know he had counter. Dude, I get it, man. I get what Luca felt like when he got that call.
Oh.
That's so cringe.
Oh my God, it's over. It's over. No! It's over, dude. It's over. Welcome to Ironman, baby.
It took me like 10 hours just to get to that point. I knew this would happen. And all the motherfuckers who were saying this shit was too easy, they wouldn't shut the fuck up. They wouldn't stop talking. They were so annoying. And then I lose. And now you know what they do? They don't even apologize. They don't even go, you know what? I was right. It actually can be bullshit and hard. They'd laugh. They just laugh at me. Do you remember how I said there's always a way to lose in an Ironman? Well, I found out the hard way. And exactly how I thought it could happen, with a counter. And let me tell you, that broke me. For the next 4 hours, I just rolled the dice at Oak's lab, losing battle after battle after battle, banning person after person after person. I think I was almost hoping I would lose my rival battles just so I would have the opportunity to ban one of the chatters who was saying that this was so boring to watch because it was so easy. Now, there's a rule in an Ironman where you can have 3 of your favorite Pokemon, and if they come up in Oak's lab, you're allowed to switch from whatever you randomly picked to one of your 3 favorites. And my 3 favorites are Blaziken, Slaking, and Metagross. Not because I have high base stat totals, just because I've always loved them since I've been a child. And what do you know, after 100 plus resets, I finally found a Metagross. Wait, Metagross is my favorite Pokemon. The reason Metagross is so good is that he has an amazing typing, Steel Psychic, which is only 2x weak to Fire and Ground, and it's not 4x weak to anything. He also has a 600 base stat total, which isn't as high as Slaking, but is right on par with Salamence or some other pseudo legendaries. Do you want to know my rival's Pokemon? Dugong, the same Pokemon that just ruined my last run. And so I named Metagross after one of my viewers, Trunold, and I got my revenge on Dugong. I only won that fight with 3 HP, and the only reason I won it is because Dugong low-rolled the low kicks, but it was enough. Now, just the way that Trunold's stats were distributed, I actually had really high special attack and low attack, which is kind of weird for a Metagross, but kind of good for the Ironman. You see, in Gen 3, they decided to split up physical and special attacks based off of what type of move it was, not what the actual move itself was. So all fire moves are special and all normal moves are physical, no matter what move it is. So this meant that I couldn't get a steel type move because that would use attack, but I could get really good coverage with special moves, like Crunch and Leaf Blade. I quickly defeated Brock and then had my rival fight before Misty, which was also pretty easy. And as I was working my way through all the trainers, I found something special. Oh my God. That is so massive. Leftovers are the best held item in the game. It heals 1/16 of your health after every single move. It basically totally de-risks the run. If you're asleep, you're now gaining health while you're sleeping. If you are burned or poisoned, it offsets the damage done by that. And it even reduces the amount of times you have to go back to the Pokemon Center because you're just healing as you battle. And so I won't lie, gyms 2 through 8 was the easiest time I've ever had playing Pokemon in my life. I kept my core moveset of Crunch and Leaf Blade, as well as Morning Sun, which healed like half my health whenever I needed, and then later on added Surf, which was my most powerful attack. I looked for about as long as you can possibly look for a Psychic TM. Literally any Psychic TM. Psychic, Psywave, Psybeam, Extrasensory, you name it, I would take any of them because a stab move would be so powerful. Psychic, please, 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 please. Needle Arm, dude. But alas, I was unable to find one. And so almost 24 hours after my Slaking died, in 50 hours after I'd started this challenge, I took on the Elite Four once again, this time with my Metagross, Chunald. Although Chunald's a very safe Pokemon, he's not super strong because he doesn't have any stab moves, so it's pretty easy for him to get walled out, which is exactly what happened against the first trainer. Oh, the Will-O-Wisp. So cringe. This is why I spent so fucking long looking for a Psychic move. What is going on? Fuck! I'm fucking hitting myself every time. End. I'm ending the stream. I'm ending the stream. I'm ending the fucking stream, dude. I'm ending the fucking stream, man. This is so fucking annoying. Holy shit. I fucking hate this game. Dude, I want everyone in this game to blow their shit off smooth. I want to watch them do it one by one. I want to see fucking Lorelei, Koga, Giovanni, my rival, one by fucking one, dude. Like it's the Kingsman, man. I want to sit there and watch it. It's grass! It's crazy, right? Random Pokemon. Every Pokemon is not weak to me. Everyone! All of them! All of them! Oh, you had a water type? One water type out of 6? Convenient. It's super frustrating to play against, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I won, and I'd picked up enough items along the way to replenish my PP for the next battle. I knew PP would be the problem, so obvious. What do you think I've been doing? What do you think I have been doing? I went to the Sevi Islands! I cleaned out the generators! I went to Articuno's lair! What do you think I've been doing? The second Elite Four battle was about as easy as it gets. I had a bunch of super effective moves, and I was able to kill all their Pokemon without losing too much PP and any health at all. And then it was time for the third Elite Four member. She started off with the Drought Mr. Mime with Heat Wave, who quickly burned me. And although the burn was annoying and took a bit of time to get rid of, the bigger problem was the weather change. I didn't realize immediately, but because of weather change, my most powerful move, Surf, was now my weakest, because water moves are so much weaker in the sun. It didn't really matter when Blastoise came out because I wasn't going to use Surf anyway, but when I was fighting against Scissor, I noticed I had to use like 5 Surfs to kill the guy when it would normally only take 2. Surf, all day. Surf in USA. Oh, it's going to take a minute. I made quick work of the Misdreavus with Crunch, and then it was down to Laloon. And at this point, I still didn't realize how little damage Surf was doing. So I'm celebrating before the fight is even over, spamming A on the Surf button, expecting that to work, and then move on to the final Elite Four member when this happens. Take off emote only mode right the fuck now. Take off emote only mode right the fuck now! Now, the way Perish Song works is simple. Everyone who hears it dies after 3 turns. That means me and the Laloon are both gonna die. But the Laloon doesn't care because when he dies, he's AI. He goes back to the Pokeball. When I die, I have to sleep in a Snorlax bed for another 8 hours, wake up, and do the same thing all over again. Back to the lab, baby. And so there's only one option. Kill the Laloon. Now here I have a big decision. I have an X special in my bag, which would increase the power of my special attack by 2 stages. I could use that X special and then take 2 turns to hopefully kill the Laloon, but in doing that, I would have 1 less turn of attacking. So I decide instead to roll the dice on Leaf Blade, which has an extra high chance to critical hit. It did a little more damage than I thought it would, and not only that, I got kind of lucky because Laloon used Double Edge, which hurts himself a little bit in recoil damage. So I figured with one more Leaf Blade, that would get the job done. Instead, he was left with 1 HP. And if you've ever been to the Elite Four, you know they always have a potion ready. And so at this point, there's only one way to win. I need Laloon to kill himself. I'm serious. I need Laloon to kill himself, because if he doesn't kill himself, I die to Perish Song next turn when he uses a potion to heal up all his health, and then even if I get a critical hit, it won't do enough damage to kill him. And that's when a miracle happens. Please, please. Yes! Yeah! Yes! Yes! Oh my God! After 24 hours, I was finally back to Lance. Okay, this is the point where yesterday we lost our run. So we've made it as far as we once did with our Slaking.
Are you having fun, Lud?
No.
Smile.
Not one more TTS for the rest of the day. Thank you until the run is over. Because I was sitting on a rare candy for the last 8 hours, I was also the highest level you can possibly be, level 100. And that's when I run into Celebi. You see, Celebi has a move called Spore, a move that puts you to sleep and has 100% accuracy. To the people of Nintendo, how did you think that this was a good idea? It's one of the worst moves in the game. That's why it's banned in almost every single competitive format. Not only does she have Spore, but she also had Swagger. So when I would fall asleep, she would use that move. Now, that move kind of seems good on paper. It increases the attack of the person it's hitting, but also makes them a bit confused. I didn't think much of it because I was using special attack anyway. And so I thought if I were to hit myself in confusion while using a special attack, it would register my special attack for the damage output. That is not how it works. I learned that is not how it works when I hit myself for a shit ton of damage. And if I keep trying to fight the confusion and losing the coin flip, there's a real chance I pull a Laloon and kill myself. Because I didn't want to waste all my PP, I decided to do the only thing that I thought would work. I spammed Pokeflute. So I'm not even going to consider anything. I'm not risking anything at all. I'm just playing the Pokeflute till he's out of PP. This costs me nothing. This is like not even top 10% lamest Pokemon Showdown matches that have happened. So whatever, it's fine. This is what the game is. I think it's fine to use Crunch. It'll only take 2, and I'm still going to use a max Ether at the end of this fight before the next fight. I could play the flute 29 times and have it kill itself, but you know, it's okay. And guess what his last Pokemon was? Another Laloon. And I don't know if it's just something in the water, but this Laloon also decided to kill himself. I've seen this one before. You know, it's crazy to see that happen not just once, but twice. And finally, it was time to face the Pokemon champion after 52 hours of attempting this challenge, where I would have to face the same exact Pokemon that killed my Slaking with counter, a level 95 Dugong. Crit. I'd love to set up an X special. I'm not going to do it against a Pokemon with Toxic. Toxic doesn't even affect me. We got a full restore off. That's huge. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What luck. That's so troll. I don't want to X special because I would hate to be hit by a scary face. It's -3 speed for me. That's way too much. Damn, he's faster. I keep forgetting he's faster. Oh no. Fuck my Chunkus life. Dude, can you imagine how much damage a crit would do? Just like it's a little sus out of what he has. Flamethrower. I think it's worth just instantly healing that. I think we tank one. I think we tank one more hit. It won't kill even with a crit with by using a. I think we tank one and we use an X special. This whole time I could have killed him. Oh, okay. Explode with Drizzle. Surf. It's extra powerful. It's our strongest move. We don't know what he has. Crunch. Could lower our special defense. Did it? Nice. What's the last one? The Pokemon that knocked my Slaking not only out of the Elite Four, out of existence, is the final Pokemon of the final trainer of the Ironman Challenge. There's no way! It's his ace. His level 95. It would have been cool if my voice didn't crack, but who cares? There it is! Oh my God, there it is. Ironman completed. Final time, 52 hours, 10 minutes. Holy shit. 122 attempts. Our final run took us 8 hours. Our champion Pokemon was Metagross, who did what Slaking could not. And we even ran into, dude, oh, that Perish song where he killed himself. Like, I'm going to replay that in my head for years. Anyway, that's how I beat my first ever Ironman. And I actually kind of enjoyed doing it. So maybe I'll do Pokemon again in the future. Just please stop DMing me day one of blank. I'm getting hundreds of messages from you guys. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't care if you're day 500, 1,000. I'm not doing it, man. I'm done. Okay, maybe day 1,000 because that's kind of crazy. But everything else I don't care about. Nope. All right, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe. All right, thank you very much. See you later, guys. Goodbye now. Goodbye. See you later. Goodbye now. Goodbye.